Senator Cardin.
Thank you. I want to just raise one, come back to the concerns I have about selective release of information. Our responsibility is to do the oversight to make sure that things are done according to law, that you're held accountable, and that we carry out our responsibilities as a legislative branch of government. We need a complete record in order to do that. And my concern is we get selective release of information. And today, you released some information concerning the congressional advice to you in regards to an intelligence briefing at the White House. My understanding is that the details of those types of briefings are classified information that can be released by the President. You released information concerning the advice given to you by the congressmen who were there, senators that were there. We don't know who was there. We don't have those details. We're not entitled to that details, if I understand correctly, the ground rules for these types of briefings. So can you just, first of all, was a conscientious decision made to release that information by the White House?
No, there was no approval by the White House. Listen, people made statements about my conduct in connection with a hospital visit. And I think it's important for the American people and for this committee to understand the context of that visit.
I agree with you completely, but we should have all the information. We should have all the information with the White House. We should be able to have independent review of all the information. For example, can we get the details of that briefing supplied to this committee?
Senator, I mean, you're asking me questions that really touch upon White House equities, and that'll be a decision made at the White House, a decision that I won't, in most cases, will not be able to control.
This committee has gotten selective information. Same thing happened with Sarah Taylor when she was here. She told us information. She said, I can't tell you anything about my conversations in the White House because we have executive presidential privilege, but however, I can tell you things that I think make us look good.
Senator, I don't know if that's to be the case or not. My understanding, it appeared to me that Ms. Taylor was trying to be as helpful to the committee as she could, but there were certain lines in which she was...
The problem is she sees it helpful when she can advance the cause of the White House. She doesn't think it's helpful giving us objective information to make our own judgments. The same thing about your... we need to get a complete record. We're going to get a complete record. The court's going to ultimately make these judgments. But I just question... We're trying to find out the details of what happened at the hospital, and you give us some information about a briefing, and we don't have the rest of it. I just think it puts us in a very difficult position. You may not have intended that to be the case, but I would certainly think that the Attorney General of the United States will want to make sure that that this committee had a complete record, and that we don't have to take just selective information in making judgments.
It was certainly my intent to make sure the committee had a more complete record than the testimony that's been provided in terms of what happened during that period of March.
But you didn't clear your testimony about that briefing with anyone in the White House. That was your judgment to talk about the briefing.
The White House was advised that this is what I was going to be talking about. I did not seek their approval, and nor did I get guidance in terms of what to say.
Thank you. I don't believe that, let me just find out whether the chairman wants this hearing to continue or we are all right to recess. The committee will stand in brief recess. My understanding is other senators will be returning.